So after living in our camper for 2 years full time, we've decided to get rid of the dinette, get rid of the theater seats, and completely revamp this area. And we thought we'd show you guys how we did it.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Mike.
We're Life Rerouted. I'm a travel nurse, and we've been living full-time in our Grand Design Imagine 2600 RB 2018 for 2 years now. We love our camper. You guys can check out our full walkthrough of our camper and what we like about it. But we got the theater seating and the dinette when we first got it. We love the space, we love the recliners. But 2 years later, we're kind of ready for a change. We're ready for something that fits us a little bit better.
So the first thing that we're gonna do is take out the theater seats. And I will mention that we have the theater seats for this model, which is the Thomas Paine theater seats. I found that there were 2 screws in the front, and it was really simple to just get those out. All I had to do is pull up the handle for the footrest, and I found 2 screws on the corners in the front. After that, I pulled the recliners forward, and there's actually a disconnect in the back in the wiring so that you don't have to drag around the plugs. And I was able to tilt it up with help of my father-in-law and pull it out. It was really simple. Next up is going to be taking out the dinette, which may present a whole nother series of challenges, and we'll show you guys that next.
That's why we brought in the big guns to get the dinette out.
Big, huge guns.
So that's all stuff that wasn't attached. Now we're down to the stuff that's actually attached to the camper. It looks like it'll be pretty straightforward. One thing that I am a little concerned about though is Velcro along the wall where the cushions were attached. They're stapled to the wall. Not that big of a deal. The staples should come out pretty easy, but it's very sticky on the back and I don't want to pull off any of the walls. So we're gonna take our time with that. Maybe use some Goopy Gone, something like that. Hopefully get those off, then we'll start actually unscrewing the boards and taking the whole thing out.
Give it a love tap. There you go. So that should be the last screw. I think this is actually going to pull all the way out now because it's all in one piece. Thank goodness. Once you get all this open, you should be able to tell where they're screwed into the wall. And then I thought we were going to have to break this whole thing apart, but it's all going to come out as one unit. Then we can get this out and we can start working on this other side here. Steph also got this Velcro off. It wasn't as sticky as we thought it was, but I would still suggest that you probably use some sort of Goo Gone or something to get this adhesive off. So this side is probably going to be a little trickier. It's got all the outlets on it. Steph's already popped off this panel, so you can see the outlet right here. I'm going to need to take off the faceplate before we start working on that. So with any electrical project, I would recommend cutting the power to your camper. Especially for me, being an amateur, I would rather have no accidents happen. So make sure that you cut your power before you get started. So this faceplate isn't like your normal ones. I noticed it doesn't have a screw like you would in your house, but I just popped it off. It just comes right off just like that. And this one should come up now. There you go.
Okay, so as I showed you on the back of this side of the dinette, the wiring is kind of snaked and mazed all through those boards. I thought, since our electricity is cut off right now, I thought that we could just disconnect some of the wiring, pull it through. But looking at it again, I don't think that's a good idea. We're going to actually use a Dremel tool, which is plugged into a very long extension cord because we're mooch docking at my parents and we didn't turn off their electricity. We're gonna cut around the boards, being very careful of the wiring, so that hopefully we can just lift up this side of the dinette and take it out with the wiring still in place. All right, down to the last cut. Yay!
It's gone! We have so much room for activities now. Look, Callie. Look at all this room. Look at all this room. All right.
You just confused her.
So, we got the dinette and the recliners out. We tried our best to kind of walk you guys through how exactly we did it. The side closest to the bedroom, I think, was pretty self-explanatory. So it's just attached to the wall. We removed a few screws and the whole thing ended up coming out. Now the second part that was closer to the recliners was a little bit more difficult because of all the wiring. And I had to cut into the frame to get some of the wires out. Now it's probably not ideal to do that, but the other option was to be cutting wires and then trying to reroute some of those wires.
Life rerouted?
So we didn't do that.
Not our expertise.
I was able to cut the frame off well enough to remove the wiring and take that second part of the dinette out.
Also, Mike had taken out the recliners, like he said, pretty straightforward, a couple screws in the front of them. They were supposed to be maybe a couple screws in the back. And then the cords detached from the back, so he and my father took those out pretty easily. Now we have all this room.
Now we have to figure out exactly how we're gonna fill that room. Now I did mention that we've already bought a couch that we will be revealing in our next video, but it's gonna go right here, and then next to it,
we're in the process of coming up with something.
you guys will just have to stick around for the next video on what we did in that spot.
That was a big teaser. I was like, oh, the big reveal.
The big reveal
What do you say?
is next time.
Move that bus.
Yes.
Is that too old?
Move
Is
that camper.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Anyway, like I said, make sure you guys check us out for part 2 of the renovation, where we tackle this project.
Yep.
If you guys are new here, consider subscribing and following along with our little adventure. We will also be talking about soon where we're going next for Steph's travel assignment.
Yep.
So make sure that you guys stick around for that as well, because we're about to reveal where we're going next very soon. So we'll see you guys next time.
Were you not recording? Oh, so all these times I've asked, are you recording?
I
The
thought-
one time I don't.
I thought that was recording, apparently it wasn't. So take 3.
Ready?